Hey, Casas Adobe's Pastor John here, and I'm here to tell you about what we are doing in Fun Day School this Sunday. So, we are in the middle of Lent. We're actually not the middle, we are actually starting Lent because we had Ash Wednesday yesterday. And we talked last time about Mardi Gras and Transfiguration Sunday and what happens when we start our journey to Lent. Well, Lent is a time for us to sort of reflect and to repent, which means to turn around, and to renew. And so it's not about a time when you start giving up things and you need to be sad. It's really a very exciting time. It's a time about doing things. It's about learning how to do things God's way. And that is what we're going to be learning about this Sunday. Is we got two stories. The first one, it sort of recovers that period of time that we studied back in January about Jesus being baptized by his cousin John and all that and what it means. And then Jesus goes from there into the desert, and he spends time in the desert where he prayed and he fasted and he had a few temptations, and then he goes out and starts doing things. And then the second story is one that we may remember, and that's the story of Noah. And remember, Noah was in the ark, and they went through that really hard, trying time with the rain and the flood. And then, remember, the flood waters went away, and Noah was left there, and God shared a promise with him. Promise of the rainbow, and that's one of the reasons why I'm wearing my sarape bandana, or my sarape stole, is because it reminds me of a rainbow. And so the story of Noah and the covenant is about new beginnings, new ways of doing things, living into the promise of God, putting away all those old bad things, and filling it up with something new, something life-giving. And that's what Jesus does with his baptism. He fills his life up through a hard time. He goes into the desert for 40 days after being baptized, but then he starts a new way of being with his ministry. 40 days in the desert, 40 days of rain, new ways of being and changing and being able to live into God's promise of diversity and love, and just so many amazing colors and new ways to be in God's world. And so this is what we are celebrating. So even though it's Lent, it's not about being sad and having to push things aside. It's about living, and it's about seeing new ways of being, new things to do, new connections with God and with each other. So with that, I will see you Sunday for Fun Day School. Always be well, be safe, of course, be a blessing. Peace.